elbow to knee, down, elbow to knee. Bracing in and lifting it up, in. Can you balance? Lifting it up, in. Through that heel, lifting up, shifting that weight nice and into that heel, and down. Welcome to Fitness to Function. I'm Dianne Laird, your certified personal trainer and mat Pilates instructor for this complimentary total body workout session today. If you like what you see today and think these workouts are right for you, you may rent or purchase my workout sessions, and the link is provided in the description below. All right, let's get started. Today we will be using dumbbells. And I've got 5 and 8 pound dumbbells and some 3 pound dumbbells, and we'll also be using a chair for balance. Make sure you have your water, and we'll get started with a warm-up. Let's go ahead and rotate out, rotating that body and reaching out, pulling those shoulders down. I always lean toward these warm-ups that include a little bit of rotation and isometric holds, pulling that shoulder down, squeezing the rear end, and pulling that belly up and in, engaging the belly, rotating those hips with you, taking that low back with you, reaching out, pulling that shoulder down. Just feeling that shoulder pull down, getting everything nice and tight here, reaching up and up. If you have difficulty reaching up, you can go ahead and use an uppercut, right up, in line with the shoulder. If you can't come that far, just keep it down. It's fine. Whatever works for you. Reach up and reach out. Nice and engaging warm-up. With this warm-up done quickly, getting that body all warmed up, the blood circulating. We're going to go wide, come down, and reaching, still reaching. Pushing through those heels, pushing through the heels, the rear end coming back, pushing, activating the back of the body, pushing through those heels, gets that back of the body activated, rear end comes way back, notice here, pushing through. Nice, getting a little active stretch through that inner thigh. And a few more, 3, and 2, and 1, and going into that row, warming that back up. Go ahead and pull back, kicking the rear end, kicking, keeping that knee in line with the other knee. That's kind of a difficult part of this. And really kicking, I'm trying to get that blood circulating, warming those muscles up. The rear end kicks, warm up the back of the thighs. Also make sure you're keeping that belly brace and keeping those knees in alignment here. 5 and 4, getting that rolling, squeeze it back down. 3 and 2 and 1. All right, let's get started. Go ahead and grab one of your weights. I want you to take that weight up to the top of the chest and kind of relax into the chest. Dangling that weight out away from the body can actually put a strain on that neck. So it needs to be resting. If it's uncomfortable, put the pads of your thumbs underneath that and just let that weight rest on those thumbs. I'll take you through the move first. Wide leg, you're gonna come down into a wide leg. We call these a sumo squat. Rear end comes back. Now the rear end comes back, but I'm not dropping my body forward. I'm staying as upright as I can and pushing through those heels. When I get upright here, I'm going to take one elbow to the knee and lean over to the other side. Ready? And let's go. We've got 45 seconds on. All right. Down, lean. Down. can't take that elbow to the knee, no problem. Just lifting that leg and getting over to the side. Just a little movement to the side, either way. You don't need weights for any of these exercises. You can do it all with body weight. Down, and elbow to knee, elbow to knee, elbow to knee, elbow to knee, down, elbow to knee, elbow to knee. All right, grabbing that other weight. This is going to be a slight hinge at the waistline, and we're going to go into a row. My slight hinge consists of coming up nice and straight, pulling that belly in, and really pushing those shoulders down and getting yourself a nice tight back, tight torso. Everything's tight. In that hinge, you bend right at the top of the thighs, hinging over and keeping that straight back, and at the same time, slight bend in those knees. This protects the back right here, and I'm just doing a slight bent over, not a lot. And then I'm going to row, alternating rows, alternating arms, and driving back with those elbows and working the back. Okay, ready? Let's get started. Slight hinge, rear and back, soft knees, and row. Taking that elbow back, squeezing just a little bit. What I see done incorrectly here is I see bending at the elbow and going into kind of a chicken wing. It's taking that elbow back and at the same time not bringing that weight way far away from you. You can feel it in the neck. It's just driving that elbow back. At the same time, see if you can feel that back engaging a bit. See if you can feel that back contracting, that muscle. You've got muscles back there. My belly is nice and engaged right here, protecting my low back. All right, there you go. Inhale and exhale. Next is gonna be a little kickback. That little bit of a hinge. I'm not even gonna go as low this time. This, I want your elbows up high. Your elbows are gonna stay high, and you're gonna alternate these kickbacks. Alternating kickbacks. You may need to go a little lighter here. If you feel this in your neck, drop the weight. If you feel it anywhere but besides the back of those arms, you drop the weight. If you feel it in your shoulder, you drop the weight. Notice I always kind of bounce with these. Need to keep that weight in the heel. Kicking back, kicking back. And these are all controlled. Everything's always controlled. Even if you're swinging, it's control. Almost there, almost there. Alternating, let's make it a little quicker. And now we're gonna go into a hip extension, body weight hip extension. We talked about this hinge. I'm still gonna go into this hinge right now. I want you close enough to the chair so that when you hinge, your hip is underneath the heel. And I'm hinging and my hands are leaning on the chair. I'm not hanging onto the chair for dear life. Look at my back. You see how it's straight? I'm not rounded here. Even if you have a natural curvature in your back, I want you to still take those shoulders back and hold everything, contract everything down all the way in your back. Then from here, we're going to take one leg out and we're going to lift the leg, bring it in, and lift it back out, using that glute, your rear end, to really get that leg high and in and out. What I see done incorrectly is standing way far away from the chair. I want those heels underneath the hips. Get started here. Ready? In and out. In. Driving that knee in, extending that hip. And extending that hip. If you can't bring it that high, it doesn't matter. Soft knee. Just take it low. I just want you to feel that hip working and feel that belly bracing in and lifting it up. In. Can you balance? Lifting it up. In. And lifting it up. In. Lifting. And getting focal point helps here. Almost done. Only 10 seconds left. Shoulders down. Belly engaged. And up. And up. close. Hinge. Heels underneath the hips. Belly's engaged. In and out. In. Left. In. Left. In. Holding that belly in. In. One side may be a little more challenging than the other. You know that you have the form correct if you can actually let go of the chair and you are balancing on that foot. So it's my challenging side. Let's see if I can balance at all. How many I can do. In. Out. My foot's a little turn. Out. There you go. A little bit of low back work, a little bit of glute work. Awesome. All right, now we're going to get into forward, seated, grabbing that chair. So on this one, you can be seated at the end of the chair, or a little more support would be closer to the back of the chair. You're going to lean back, hang on to the chair to support that low back. You're going to take a single leg knee drive, and you're going to lift up toward that knee. Lift and alternate and alternate. All right. Ready? Let's go. Single leg. In. Make it a little harder. Come out to the end of the chair, and then you can lean back a little more. But this is a lift. This is not a crunch. As it feels okay. So the crunch goes like this. This is what you don't want to be doing. Rocking that rib cage. This is a lift. You can take your hands across the body. You can take your hands behind your head. Or you can just hang on to that chair. Awesome. That's it. Those are those exercises, and I'm going to go through them one more time. We'll do 2 sets today. And I'll do them with you. Grabbing that dumbbell, capping the ends of it, resting it on that chest. We'll be resting here. It's the sumo squat with the elbow to knee. All right, here we go. Coming down and up, elbow, elbow, down and up. I'm trying to keep my elbows to the outside of my thigh here. That way, when I'm coming over to the side on this side bend, I'm not coming forward with it. I'm staying back with it. Like I talk about that crunch. I don't like to crunch forward. We crunch forward all day long. Modifications are just coming on down and lift and lift and up. And lift. All right, next we're going into that slight bent over row, grabbing that other weight. This is where we get our hinge on. Shoulders down, belly engaged, hinging, rear end back, soft knees, and alternating a row. Alternating, pulling that elbow back, seeing if you can feel that back engage. Be able to feel that back engage. You should not be feeling this in your arms or in your biceps. This is back work. If you're feeling it all in your arms or in the biceps here or in your neck, it's too heavy. Take the weight down so you can work the proper muscle. When we go too heavy, other muscles take over and we don't get to feel the working muscle for which these exercises are intended. And there we go. Next, we're going to go into those kickbacks. Inhale and exhale. Getting into that hinge again. Nice, tight shoulders down. Into that. This one's just a slight hinge. These elbows come up high, and we are alternating kickbacks. I'm going to go a little quicker here. Alternating those kickbacks. For some reason, I like to bounce on these. As long as I'm not locking my knees out, I'm actually okay with it. Yeah, just kind of show you both sides here. Elbows stay high. That's the hard part. That's what I see it done incorrectly. Are the elbows come low. There we go. Keep going. Backs of those arms. Love working the backs of the arms. Always remembering that breath. Helps us work through these exercises. We're almost done here. There we go. All right, ready for that second set? Let's go ahead and grab one leg. And I'm going to do a curtsy squat, coming up into a wide leg sumo, and then alternating to the other side of a curtsy. All right, and let's get started. Wide leg here, coming into that sumo squat, over into a curtsy, rotating, staying nice and upright, coming back to center, down into that sumo, and upper body rotation over that front knee, and back, down to that sumo. Remember, I don't want you to bend over when you're going into this sumo right here. I don't want you bending over, getting into that. Keeping that body upright, and then that curtsy down, up, and curtsy with an upright rotation, down, up, and rotating here. You need a modification. You just don't go as deep. That's what the modification entails. Next, we're doing an overhead press. Let's switch to a little bit lighter weight here. Coming up, resting these weights. Not holding them out here. Resting them, just resting. Elbows are down and resting. This one, we're going to rotate and press overhead. Taking those hips with you and rotate and press overhead. When you rotate and press, you're squeezing the rear end and you're holding that belly, engaging it. Let's speed it up a little. Reaching over. So powering. And taking those hips with you. Rotation. And an overhead press. And a single arm. If you can't hit that overhead press, I'm up and do an uppercut. Next, I'm going to go into hip abduction. A little bit of balance here. Getting your chair if you need it for balance. Just taking one leg out to the side and down. You can even raise your arms with it. Get a little work here, seeing if you can balance. Not swinging my leg up high and bending over. My hips are staying solid. You hang on to that chair. Out. Out, hold, let's hold it. Out, hold, in, out, in, out. There you go. We don't take our bodies to the side very often, so I like to include these. Out. Nice and safe work in a standing position. And also adding a balance element. Work their hip abduction, taking the leg away from the body. All right, ready? Get your weight all on that one leg. Remember, I'm not leaning over to this chair. Everything is in line, nice and up top, chest open and out. Notice I'm coming out to the side. You can do this. Get a focal point, holding out and in. Breath helps. Holding it out, not swinging it, holding it, nice and controlled. Feel that work. Into the glutes. Almost there. Very good. Now, I'm going to come back to the back of the shoulders. We're going to get a little hinge in here. Hinging, that hinge again, straight, hinge. these are going to work, this exercise, reverse flies, is going to work the back of the shoulders. We've worked center shoulder, want to hit the back, so important to hit the back of the body. You take these, you get that hinge straight back and bring these weights up to your chest. So I'm going to take one side out, the other side out, just keeping them at the chest and both. And one side, other side, and both. Here we go. Up nice and tall, hinge, taking them up, and both. One side, other side, and both. Working the back, think about that shoulder. Notice how my elbows aren't bending, they're just staying rounded. Kind of like I'm holding a stability ball. And both, feeling that belly engaged, always when you're in this hinge. And both, so important to hit the back of the shoulders. Other side, and both. One side, other side, and both. One side, alternating, and both. All right, now onto the ground, onto your mat, and do some bridges and a little bit of core work. So let's come on now. Take this out of the way. All right, see it in position here, and nice and up tall. See if you can tuck the tailbone under and roll down with control all the way down. All right, I'm going to take you into a bridge. So, hands are down about 45 degrees out. You're going to raise those hips up. Notice when you raise your hips, you want to throw all your weight into their shoulders. I want you to bring them down into your heels. Take one ankle over the knee. You're going to drop the rear end down, pushing through that heel and lifting up. Down, lift up. Ready, and let's go. Lift and lift. Getting a little stretch through that hip. Really pushing through that heel, even if you have to grab that floor. You do not want that weight in your neck. It needs to be pushing through that heel and lifting up. You're working the back of the thigh here, working those hamstrings and probably your rear end as well. And pushing up, pushing up. You can even add a weight to this hip if you want to make it more difficult. Pushing up, getting there, getting there. You can even put your elbows into the ground if you need to, or you can take your arms up if you want a little more of a balance challenge. All right, now I want you to take that same arm with this knee that's crossed. That hand comes behind your head. You're going to take your opposite hand and glide it right across that knee and lift your shoulder blade off the mat. Ready? And lift. And lift. Tuck my chin. But I want that shoulder blade off the mat, and all I want you to do is to tap that shoulder blade and back up. Tap up, lifting here. Lift, lift. Getting those obliques, the sides of the waistline. Really getting that oblique. You can rest your head in that hand. If your neck's getting fatigued, lift, tap up, tap up, tap up. Now let's pulse up here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to hold and hold, hold and hold. All right, back down. Foot down, feet flat, knees bent, switching legs. Going into that single leg bridge. Run that knee over, tucking that heel into your rear end, very close. Weights in this heel, pushing up into that bridge, dropping down, pushing through that heel. Down, up. Really good, safe way to work the hamstrings. A lot of times if your low back hurts in this move, it's because you're pushing back onto that neck. So just make sure you're lifting straight up off the ground. Straight up. All that weight through that heel. Pushing up. Using that glute. You can do it. Push up. You can put a little extra weight on this hip. If you want a little more work, if you want a little balance, just lift your arms up. Off the ground. Got to get resituated when you lift your arms up, pushing through. You've got it. All right, coming on down. Same knee that's bent, that hand goes behind your neck. On the back of that skull, opposite arm comes across with that little finger. You're going to lift that shoulder blade off the ground and slice over that knee. This is the angle that I like on this one, so that you're lifting through here, not just crunching. It's a lift, a nice lift, tap, shoulder, lift. Not going all the way back and resting, tap, tap, lift, opening. There we go. Nice, great angle here. Nice angle to lift off the ground. Well, we've been doing 45 seconds and about 15 in between. And lifting. Now let's try those 10, 9, pulsing up there, 8, lifting 7, lifting 6, lifting 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and reaching tall, reaching long, and back. All right, take a breath, come on up, take your time, coming on up, and we're going to get started with round 2 of that same set of exercises. All right, and stand out. We started with that curtsy sumo. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. And grabbing a weight for our little rotation, and let's get it done. There's that sumo and curtsy. Sumo and curtsy. Sumo. You can speed these up or slow them down. Curtsy and sumo and curtsy. And that sumo squat is wide leg and curtsy. Wide leg, rear end comes back. Watch that you're not bending in that waistline. Staying up nice and tall. And the other side. There you go. And this curtsy, you'll be pushing on that back toe and that front heel. And we'll do one more right here. And pushing up. All right, now we're going into that overhead rotation. Grabbing your weight, resting it, just resting them on your palms right here, and rotating, alternating, overhead, rotation, and overhead, and pushing overhead. Pulling that belly in, rotating those hips with your low back. Everything's rotating here, squeezing the rear end, pulling that belly in, and let's speed it up a little bit. Remembering that breath. Only 10 seconds left. You've got it. And 4. And there we go. Next we're going into, instead of a hip abduction, I'm going to heel raises. And let's get some balance out of this. Use the inner thighs. Those heels are going to be together and the toes are going to be out. You're going to hold these heels together and lift and lift. Get yourself a focal point. Squeeze those inner thighs. Feel a little bit of that tailbone shift down. Very slight shift. And kegels. Getting those kegels going. And up. See if you can balance. See if you can keep those heels together. Gotta get a focal point. Use your arms. Lift. See if you can hold. Lift, squeeze. Lift, squeeze, hold. 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 Notice my heels are together. That's tough balance. And you did it. That was very good. You're going into those reverse flies. Grabbing your weights. Hinging. We are alternating here. Hinging over. Come bringing those weights out in front of the chest. Rounded elbows. One side, other side, and both. Alternating, and both. Thinking of those shoulders. Thinking of the back of that shoulders, the top of the back, You feel it a little bit in that upper back. I don't want to swing here. It is controlled. It's nice and controlled. Make sure your head's not dropping. I see that a lot in these. One side, other side, controlled. It may look like I'm swinging, but I'm really not. It's very controlled. That just is where I'm at the top there, for the back of that shoulder. And one more. And alternate. And both. Got it. All right, we got our reverse flies. Now let's go down into those bridges. I can do that. Seated. And arms out, shoulders down, and tipping that pelvis and rolling down. All the way to the ground. All right. Tucking those hips underneath the knees. And lifting the rear end up. Ready? Pushing the rear end up. Taking one ankle over that knee and lifting, pushing through that heel, pushing through that heel. Really pushing through that heel. Nice strong hamstrings, back of those thighs. Very important muscle, the back of the body. Always want to work that back of the body. Move forward all day long. Going here, you got it, and getting down there, 4, and 2, and 1. Now that elbow, same elbow as the knee, and opposite arm, so slice along that knee, and lifting that oblique, the sides of the waistline off the ground. And here we go, lift, and lift, and lift. Really making that into a lift, and lift, and lift. Love those lifts. That's Pilates. Everything's a lift. Nothing is a crunch. I really like that. You're opening the chest and lifting, not just crunching over, taking those elbows in. Pulling on that neck, no. It's lifting. Your neck is resting in your hand. Resting in your hand. Feel that head resting in that hand. And lifting. All right, ready? Let's pulse, pulse, pulse. You can do it. Keep pulsing. Letting that clock run. And there it goes. All right. Taking that foot down. Changing. Other ankle over the knee. Arms down to 45 degree. Pushing through that heel, lifting up, shifting that weight nice and into that heel, and down and push up, and push, and push. Nice. If this is too much for you, you can always go with 2 feet on the ground and just be pushing up through there. You can even hold a minute if it's not enough. You can really push through that rear end and glute, pushing up. You might even get a little cramp, but you might have to stretch that out. We talked about taking your arms up here, adding a balance element. Really feel stabilization going on here. The body kind of wobbling a little bit. All those muscles get to grab on to the bones and work that much harder for stabilization. All right, knee that's bent, that elbow, hand goes behind your head. Opposite arm, little finger just cuts across that knee here, and ready, and lift across that knee. Lifting, lifting, resting that head in your hand. Your hand is on the back of that skull, and rest that head. You can do it. And lift. This is our last exercise, and we're going to be done. 2 sets, and 2 rounds of each exercise. We had 5 or 6 exercises if we counted each side. Really worked a lot of different muscles. Outer, inner thigh. There we go. Lift. Make these count. Lift off the ground and pulse in here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we did it. Let's see if you can roll up here. It's okay if you use momentum, legs out straight or knees bent, tucking that chin and just peeling yourself up off the ground. That's really good. All right, good job. You made it through, and I appreciate you working out with me today. And if you do like these workouts, go ahead and click on the link in the description below the video, and you'll see some other videos for rent or for purchase. And until next time, this is Dianne Laird signing off, and I'll see you at your next workout. Thanks for joining me.